picture basically tells you that it goes here, has the E. Everything else is within the same plane, so they are the same depth. And this one I believe is the same size. Pretty good. So what we end up doing is, since this is a brand new Mazda motor, the side seals have been cut to the right position. What we want to essentially achieve is, when we break this open, we want to put everything back together exactly where it came from. So the most important part of this right now is when I crack it open, that we mark where everything goes, so that when we put it back together, it goes exactly the same way. The pieces tend to stick to the housing. So hopefully when we pry this open, we don't have too much. Take a look at it. Coming up, and we have clean separation. It's just a water seal. That's normal. And the dowel pin apparently. Okay, perfect. This is our rear housing. This is brand new, and fortunately we can't reuse it. So, trash. Not exactly the cheapest thing. Now that we have the rotor, you can see the side seals, corner seals, apex seals, everything, it's together here. And then we're going to use this rubber band to retain the seals. And you can see the corner seals already separating. It's a two-piece seal. It's the latest design they used. And we're just gonna slide that rotor right out. These are pre-cut, everything are within factory specs. So that's very important that we put it back the way it belongs. This is basically our legend. We're gonna keep that in mind. And with that having said, we're gonna go grab some more bags, and we are going to remove the side seals. So the reason why we're doing this is because these are clearance to fit in this position. They've already been marked, they've already been shaved down. They usually come a little longer, and you have to measure for the tolerances. Since we want to reuse this and the tolerances are made at the factory, I'm sure they did a bang on job. This would be the side apex seal and the side apex seal spring, and that would go into this bag, and this bag would be notated R1T. So tedious process, but it will save us some time at the end and making sure that this engine is going to be reliable and have the tolerances it needs to hold compression. We're gonna mark this with R1, which means this is the rear and this is the side one. So what I want to do is basically mark it in the direction it's gonna go. I'm gonna put an arrow pointing down because we're gonna go in sequence. So it's gonna be R1, R2, and R3, top and bottom. So what we're gonna have is, as a reference, we're gonna have R1 with a down indicator. So basically, this will double for the top and the bottom. So then we have top and bottom. So this here would actually be the top, and that underneath would actually be the bottom. This would be R2 because our notation is going down, so down to R2, and then down again to R3. and R3B. So the oil control rings, the reason why we have to remove it, one is because I want to clean the rotors a little bit, and there's rubber inside there, so we don't want to keep it. And two is because we're going to machine the surface down and balance the rotors. As long as you put it down, again, we'll go over this in the reassembly, but it doesn't matter which way it goes, and it doesn't matter which way you put them in, because you don't want it to spin. Oil rings, rear front. Okay, so now we're gonna flip this over, and we're gonna do the same thing. Looks like the bearing is brand new. It barely had any use. This is absolutely brand new bearing. The tolerances feel fantastic. I don't think I've ever had a motor this tight. So we're gonna clean it up a little bit, and basically it's gonna be sent out to Mazda Tricks alongside the other rotor and the rotating assembly to get lightened. More difficult. So coming back here, this is the dial pins. We wanna remove the dowels. Love brand new rotor housings. Mark for rear. See, it's marked here. So we're good. On these ears, they have front and rear rotor housings. So the main reason why we're taking it apart is to make a little bit more horsepower. Also to change the apex seals and the balance assembly. So if we do that, we can rev it to 9. We can make somewhere around this big, generous, close to 100 more horsepower out of it. And in case of detonation, let's hope for not, the apex is actually gonna give. So we're not gonna destroy the rotor housing, we're just gonna probably have to take it apart and rebuild it, but we can reuse the parts that we have. So this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing. Moving on, this is our center plate. And I learned a trick over the years. I'm gonna use my knee to basically pop it up, and I'm going to separate this piece. And hopefully, yeah, we're looking good. Looks like all the apex seals are there. If you don't mind, Alex, go ahead and lift the shaft. We're gonna lift together. Okay, now lift it. Don't be scared, it's fine. And now I'm gonna hold it, and we're gonna wiggle. Perfect. Okay, there we go. So then we have this piece, which is a center iron. And it does go like this in assembly. One more dowel pin. Fantastic. Basically everything. So you're gonna go ahead and take a picture of this, a mental note. This is our reassembly procedure as far as the parts that we have to assemble the right way. Everything else we just separate, we have in bags. We have to remove the stationary gears. But before we do that, the E-shaft, the counterweight that we don't have but I have to purchase, the front counterweight, these pieces, and these all go together to actually get the E-shaft balance. So getting that balance requires all these pieces. That's going to Mastertrix. We'll go to Mastertrix to actually set that out to balancing. And also we're gonna go to Triple R Motorsports and we're gonna use John to actually pour our housings. So he's gonna do all the porting work that we need to get done over here. Yay! The only thing that we have left to do now is remove the stationary gears. It's really simple. We left it here for last. Unbolt these screws, which are hand tight. I just put them in there to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. And now, go ahead and walk it up, walk it up, walk it up. And that is our stationary gear. Awesome. And all we have to do is take the rear one out, which is the same process. So this is it. This is a disassembly, a brand new Mazda motor. And yeah, see you guys when we take the parts out to get machined and get it all ready to be put together.